Everything that happens for a reason. I need every single person watching this to realize when it comes to the market, when it comes to price action, nothing is by accident. It is all manipulated. It all happens for a reason, doing the same shit over and over and over. Valid trade, nice and simple, and then we had a very similar idea the day before, but I want to explain to you guys exactly what happened this week.
I know that it also was like I was the problem.
We draw the consolidation, we marked up this move right here where it ran the lows. I want to talk to you guys about how to build confidence as a trader because it's one of the biggest things that a lot of people lack. Good morning and welcome back to another video. Right now we're about to hop on my first one-on-one call of the day before we hop on to the back testing session with the team. So yeah, hope you enjoyed this free game. About to hop on a call with my boy Donovan. What's going on, Birdie? That's what I like to hear, up early. But how was your week so far? You went through all the ones I sent you, or did you go through the blueprint first? Copy. How do you feel about them? There's no right or wrong amount of time it takes for the content, because one thing I always try to tell people, it's a lot of content. Like as you've seen, like it was a good amount of stuff in there. And if you try to skim through it, it might be 1 second, 1 minute, just one thing that just might have helped you. And it's like, you never know. From your point of view, you don't know what you're gonna learn. From my point of view, I just don't know what part of the video you're at to be able to, oh yeah, stay watching this because you're gonna learn this. Because I talk so much, and they're all, one thing I will say about a lot of the meeting recordings, they're labeled, say, backtesting session, they're labeled something, but inside of it, I still might talk about something else. So it's like, you might not click on it thinking, oh, I'm about to learn this. You might just see the kind of the vague backtesting session, but in between, from watching, you kind of learn the little things. But that's good. The concept just takes time, like from watching the videos, from getting like experience and knowing what to look for. That's what's gonna allow you to have the confidence so that when you go into back testing, you know what to look for. And then from knowing what to look for and seeing it play out, that's gonna add the next level of confidence. So now when you go into a demo trade, you have the confidence to at least execute. You're not gonna be like, oh, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to try to do. You're at least gonna have an idea on what to do to now see if you're gonna get a positive or negative result. And then based off that positive or negative result, that just allows you to have either more confidence or less confidence. But everything that's happening is just kind of reinforcing you to show you if you know what you're doing or not. But like I was gonna say, don't try to rush it because everyone learns differently. Here, what I'll send you, I have a video on my second channel on just kind of talking about the fib. This is more updated, so it's kind of more just from all the things you probably watched from a little bit ago. I recorded a newer one, maybe I think last week. So once we're done the call, we have back testing in about like 15, 20 minutes, so you can just watch this after. But this goes over all the fib settings, just explaining everything about the fib for the most part. So if you still have any questions, you're still like, I doubt you're a master of it, you just feel better off than compared to where you were before. I recommend watching this. It's gonna give you a lot of game, give you my settings, explain why we use the fib, what the fib even is, just all of the above. But that's a regular video. But what were the questions that you were gonna ask that I already answered, if I could give it from like my point of view? I would say another way to easily do that, if you ever notice how I have like the 12 a.m. on my charts, that'll be one of the biggest things to kind of structure, because I'm sure once you hop on the charts, all you see is a whole bunch of candles. But when I hop on the charts, I can easily see the highs and lows of each day just without having to essentially really put any brain like effort into it. I can just visually see highest point, lowest point, and then all I gotta do is draw a line so I can see later on. But all that is just 12 a.m. So what is 12 a.m.? Since the market goes off of military time, all that line is just showing a vertical line from 0, 0, 0. Now you could put an indicator for that, or you could just do it yourself. Me personally, unless you just wanna do it every day, just at 12 a.m. or just in the morning when you wake up, you could just have an indicator that just automatically puts 12 a.m. When we hop on the charts, I could just show you guys, like just remind me in there just so I don't forget, because I'm gonna do the back testing, but I could just show you the indicator because it just makes it so it's more effective. I don't have to come to the charts, have a 7, 6, 20-step process. All right, we just got done that call. About to get my student right. He's a newer student, probably maybe a month or so, maybe not. I think less than a month on the team, but we're gonna get him situated. Really want him to understand how to use the fib. Want to get him understanding of back testing. So when we have this back testing session that you guys are about to see, about to explain to him inside that call how to back test, how to get the indicators at 12 a.m., the AC session range, just kind of structure his charts exactly like mine. Structure is very key, and as you guys heard me tell him, you need to have your chart structure so you can at least become aware and make your trading system process a lot more effective. Yeah, a lot less friction when you don't gotta come to the charts and mark up 25, 26 different things. You just gotta look and reprice. Keep it simple. But yeah, we're about to hop on this call. done that first one-on-one call. I got, I think, another 6 later on, probably on my other phone.
The valid trade, nice and simple, and then we had a very similar idea the day before, but I want to explain to you guys exactly what happened this week. On Wednesday specifically, I want you guys to remember. You guys know the thing we always draw. We have the Asian session. We'll have a manipulation move. This is something that if you guys don't know what it is, I recommend go checking the 3 phases video inside the meeting recordings. But we have 3 phases. It always starts with consolidation. From consolidation, we usually get a run of an old higher low. That's a manipulation of the lows to then take price higher, to expand higher, to then usually leave a gap behind to try to take price higher, right? This is usually what we're looking for, and I'm usually trying to take advantage of price action right around this phase where it's having its push, it already made the low of the day, all of that sort of thing. And we went over this before. The main times that this happened: Asian range, London, New York. This is usually when the consolidation is Asia, the manipulation tends to be London, the expansion, the volume tends to be in New York. Not always, but most times unless that's exactly what happens. So now let's go into the real price action. We're going over Wednesday, right? So we're going to mark up the previous highs and lows from Tuesday. What is the first thing y'all notice here on this day? Very similar.
Previous day low.
Another run of the previous day's low. Take a guess at what time?
2 in the morning.
Okay, perfectly. 2 in the morning is when we first ran it, and we made the low today at 3 a.m., which is the equivalent to 9 in the morning for New York. So now let's pay attention to what's happening. We have the Asian session range. First part of the schematic, all right, valid. Oh, then we run these lows, second part of schematic. Then what would be the third phase? Going up, all right, going up. Now, inside of this third phase, that's when the main thing comes into play is where is this gap now? Because we're going to need to find a gap to try to take advantage of, take price higher. Now that's what we're going to go in there and annotate. But in terms of the 3 phases of the market, it does the same shit all the time. Consolidated, manipulated old highs to lows. In this case, what was the overall trend? The overall trend was already bullish, which is why once it ran this low during London, we weren't awake. We didn't have to be here. We didn't have to anticipate this happening. By the time we woke up for New York session, all Asian session, London session, and up to this point up here was already done. It had already did everything that we would have needed it to in terms of understanding that we are in this third phase of the market. We would just wait for it to push, to leave a gap behind, to take advantage of price action. Now, the trade idea that I called out for you guys on Wednesday, I didn't take this trade myself because I had lost Monday, Tuesday. This trade right here, which was this 1 hour imbalance, this is what I was taking price off of. This is what I was expecting price to continue moving higher off of. Why did I expect that? Why didn't I expect it to come down to this 1 hour gap? I remember this very vividly. I was here with you guys. I told you I am going to watch this first trade. If this first trade doesn't play out, I am going to watch the second entry down here. But already in my eyes, already in my mind, this was all done real time. Like I did all this before it happened. We draw the consolidation. We marked up this move right here where it ran the lows, and now we were waiting for it to push because all I wanted to do now, I knew I was bullish. I knew I wanted to see price higher. My main thing is, where am I going to get my entry? Is it going to be this higher gap or is it going to be this lower gap? I don't know. Either one, I could still be right or wrong. If it holds the higher gap up here and still pushes, that's still valid. But what if it's going to go to the deeper gap down here? That could still be valid. It's just a matter of which one is going to play out. I didn't know which one was going to play out. So I told you guys, I am willing to take both. I am going to watch both. And fortunately enough, that first one that I called, the first trade idea that was up here at this imbalance, we traded into it at 9 in the morning. Where did we trade into it and what is the trade idea? Right in here, just so you guys can get a better idea on it. This was the entry. Why does it keep doing upside down? This was the entry right in here with about a 50-point stop loss, expecting price to reach for this previous high. That was my main trade idea. Why was this my main trade idea? For one, we had the first 2 phases of the market already playing out. All I had to expect was this third. All I had to expect was volume. But guess what? When you show up at 9:30 in the morning, when you're showing up where there's a lot of volume, when you're showing up during the most volatile times, you're more than likely going to get that volume. So you're just letting price show you what it's going to do. Now, this is when I had the reasoning behind the trade. It was 9 in the morning. We traded into the 1 hour imbalance. We were already bullish from the previous day and from London. This is my main reason why I was taking this trade, and I wanted to take price to the higher prices of this previous high. This was also around, this isn't all-time highs, but is just keep in mind, this is the real reason I was bullish. Yes, the 1 hour gap at 9 in the morning is why I took the trade, is why I entered the trade, is my entry. But everything else leading up to this point, everything else making this ascent session, the manipulating of the previous day's low, which made what? The low of the week. This is also a very important thing. Keep in mind, when we made this move, when we manipulated this move, this is happening on the grand scale of the week. This isn't happening on the lower time frame. This is based off of the entire day of Wednesday. Wednesday grabbed the liquidity from the entire week. Wednesday created the low for the entire week. Wednesday was right here on the weekly perspective. We consolidated for what? And because keep in mind, this is all consolidation, but if you look at it in this perspective, all of this was consolidation up until Wednesday. For Wednesday to do what? Run the lows. And then what happened after we ran the lows? We come into the last phase of the market, which is expansion. And it did it the rest of the week, right? Y'all can see this. We were here before it all happened. We were here as I explained that I want to see the rest of the week more than likely keep going bullish based off of this area within here. And the best thing about this was I don't gotta try to guess none of it, because guess what? The ascent session, the consolidation, consolidated regardless. We ran this low regardless. By the time I woke up, all I had to do was expect it to go bullish. And even if I didn't catch no trade on Wednesday, even if I would have seen all this push, this still would have led me to believe going into the next day that we are still bullish because of what happened over here.
And we are done with the call. Successful call, successful day, a lot of game. I'm gonna give you guys some of the game, probably from Wednesday, because Wednesday was one of the real turning points for the week, to give the low of the week and also explain why we went bullish Wednesday, Thursday, going into Friday, into the all-time highs on US 30. So a lot of game. Everything that happens for a reason. I need every single person watching this to realize when it comes to the market, when it comes to price action, nothing is by accident. It is all manipulated. It all happens for a reason, doing the same shit over and over and over. From being able to sit here for 45 minutes, an hour every single Saturday, going over the charts, going over everything that happened Monday through Friday, we literally proved to ourselves, and literally every day, every week, that the same shit keeps happening. The same things I went over with you guys last week happened again this week. I was able to make money off it. I was able to catch trades off it. And I have students that were able to do the same exact thing. And I can guarantee you, the market's not open yet. When we come back next Saturday, we're going to be doing, and I'm going to be saying the same. All right, so microphone died, but I'm about to upload this so I can get it over here. Call's done. Yeah, whole bunch of different things, but not sure how long ago that microphone died, but I'm about to get the rest of our day started. It's a little bit ugly outside. We gonna make the best of it. Food is done. Now it's time to hop on to these one-on-ones. Yes, sir. I'm about to hop on one on the computer, so I'll probably get a screen recording of this one. So yeah, without further ado, top of the charts.
So you were doing, it was just last week was just an L week. I would say the main thing to keep in mind, if you're going to be risking 500 and if you are going to be trading 3-4 days out the week, it's possible. I mean, I had a L week, but it was more or less, it was break even until Friday, but it was still a L week, you know what I mean? And my worst weeks, I could be losing more than 3 trades. The fact that you only lost 3 trades is still good. It's just a matter of you're risking enough to where if you lose 3, it's minus 1,500. But if you do catch a trade, you'll make 1,000. If you catch a 1 to 3, you'll make the 1,500 back. So the risk reward is still there. It's just a matter of actually catching the W's. One thing, last week, there was a lot going on with the government shutdown. We also had NFP, but NFP didn't affect us that much. In my opinion, it was a pretty choppy week. It had some decent trades here and there, like nonetheless. But at the end of the day, it just wasn't the best time frame, you know what I mean? Else happened.
I know that it also was like I was the problem because I was playing, I think, too aggressive or something, because I had a problem because, for example, do you remember the trade on US 30 on Thursday you took?
I'll say we are still at all-time highs. So just letting you know, when we go into this week, don't expect it to just most times unless it just be bullish. Most times unless. And this doesn't mean we're never gonna have any bearishness. We've had bearish low moves, but overall, just pay attention to what the overall structure does. Like Wednesday, we had made the low of the week. You didn't have to catch any of this. This is all happening for us. Like, we wouldn't have had to do none of this. Like, if you just look at it like this, from the stuff that I've been telling you guys, we have the consolidating. We consolidated Monday and Tuesday, and then what happened right after?
Wednesday.
Yep, Wednesday made the low, and that's we don't even gotta be here to. This is all already happening, so that's the best part. It's not like we gotta try to expect this. It already happened. You get what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And then you can kind of see what happens after the fact and how price kind of sticks with that structure. And even up here, this was just us being very trendy. Like, sometimes we're there to make a retracement, but based off of where we were at that time, 9 o'clock just kept going bullish. And at that time, I don't trade before 9 o'clock anyway, so 9:30 was already showing me that it was just trying to get up. And the way I look at it, these all-time highs, they're just magnets. Every time it makes an all-time high, look at how it does it. Every time it makes a new all-time high.
I can see your screen.
You can't see my screen?
I can.
Let me see.
I was looking at my charts and you were talking. If you were showing me something, I can see.
Like, all these times, look at every time it makes a new all-time high. The type of volume it has. Every time it makes a new all-time high. Look, right over here. Every time it makes a new all-time high, it's like a big old magnet. All-time high. Right over here. Push, all-time high. Right over here. Friday, all-time high. It's a big ass magnet, and it's just because at the end of the day, people want to make money. The people, when I look at it, this is the equivalent as people that have been investing in the Bitcoin. When they see a new price, when they say it hits 100,000 and it's never hit that before, when they hit that price, that means however much money they might be up $1 million in Bitcoin. As soon as it starts going back down, they're not up $1 million no more. They want to see new prices. They don't want to see their 1 million that they already were up before. They want to see being up 1.1 million, 1.1 million, 2 million. They want to be up more. So when it goes to these prices, when it gets to a new price, it gets up there. And yes, then you have a pullback. But guess what? See how it kind of equals it out though. And then eventually you see new prices now. Now you're in a different area. But it's like the same thing with Bitcoin. When it goes up, it tries to get up there and it wants to see new prices. It's not just going to make a new high and then immediately. And matter of fact, it might just do that. Look, see how there was an all-time high? It came up, but it was just building liquidity, building the liquidity to make it a reason to go up. But patience pays. A couple days, people have been waiting months. They'll wait a couple days for a new all-time high. They're cool with it. You guys, and that's just where you got to look at it. When we're at all-time highs, it's just a big old magnet.
I'm about to record a piece of content for my Instagram while I clean my watch, just because I feel like it might be something entertaining. Not entertaining, but like it gives something for people to watch while I talk about a certain topic. But I also want you guys to get the topic too. I'm trying to grab the piece of the tripod I need. And yeah, I want you guys to get this piece of game. No cap. But I'm gonna set this all up and then I'm gonna get to cleaning the jewelry skis. And if you want this full piece, make sure you follow me on Instagram, man. I try to do different things, you know? Dare to be different. I try my best. I want to talk to you guys about how to build confidence as a trader, because it's one of the biggest things that a lot of people lack. As a trader, you need confidence. Most people always come to me, I need a piece to cut this. Gonna have to cut that part out. But yeah, I had to go cut this piece to clean my jewelry with. A lot of people lack confidence in themselves and their trading. The main reason you lack confidence in yourself and your trading is because you have no small W's. A lot of people expect to just come into this trading game. A lot of people just expect to become a profitable trader overnight when you have no experience. The reps are what's gonna give you confidence. Do you think you just go to the gym and immediately try to hit 225? Unless you're like a 300-pound football player and you're just naturally gifted with great genetics, that's not gonna happen. That's not the reality of it. The reality of it is you get confidence, you get good with experience. You get good and get confidence from stacking the small W's. Now, how do you stack the small W's when it comes to something specifically like trading? Okay, let's just say stacking a small W in trading could be as simple as backtesting. From backtesting a certain system, a certain concept, you're gonna get small W's. You're gonna get small reps in that are gonna allow you to have confidence in doing that same thing again. It's gonna allow you to know what you're looking for next time. A lot of people just try to go straight into trading live, trading on a funded account, which is okay because you're gonna learn lessons you're gonna need to learn regardless, but you're learning lessons way earlier than you need to. You're learning lessons about emotions. You're learning lessons about risk management that you shouldn't be worrying about yet. In the beginning, when trying to get confidence as a trader in yourself and system, you get that from backtesting, which isn't gonna lose you no money. From backtesting, the next way to get confidence in yourself is going to be going into a demo trade. A lot of people try to skip the whole demo trade process. They try to just go straight from backtesting to live account, straight from backtesting to a funded account, which is okay. But like I said, you're gonna learn lessons that you don't need to learn yet. You're gonna learn them pretty damn early. When in reality, you know you wanna save your money and the market's not gonna go nowhere. The market's gonna be here in a day, it's gonna be here in a week, it's gonna be here for you to be able to take advantage of it tomorrow. So stop trying to force the process, stop trying to rush the process. I understand you wanna make money, but you're gonna be doing it the wrong way. You wanna be able to find a way of making money the rest of your life, not finding a way of making you money this week. Because if you can't do it next week, you're gonna be sick. So once you go from back testing, you're gonna get a little confidence. That little confidence is gonna allow you to go into demo trading, from taking the same trades and not getting a result and not making money from it over and over and over and over. You're gonna get tired of it, and that's when you're gonna be able to go into a funded account. That's when you're gonna go into a live account. When you finally have built up the confidence in yourself and system. Not when you just started trading a new system, not when you just learned a certain strategy. You gotta get your reps in. Like I said, if you go to the gym, you're not gonna immediately try to hit 225 on the bench. It's gonna take you time. Whole bunch of different cuts. All good things take time, and I understand you want results. You want to be able to pass that funded account. You want to be able to get your first payout, but all good things take time. As long as you do it the right way, build your confidence in yourself and system, I can promise you, the sky's the limit, and one day, you'll be able to afford this little baby watch. It looks like I was only recording for 5 minutes over there. Not sure how long I'm going to be able to make that video, because it's about a 3-minute limit, so we're going to try our best. But so far, we cleaned the Cartier that I was wearing, and then I'm going to put this one back on. But I'm about to clean the Rolex next while I wait for the next call. In good timing, my other student, JP, you guys know JP. I've talked to him for the last couple of weekends. He's very consistent with booking these one-on-one calls. That's what I like with the students. Not many students actually want to show up, which is why I only work with students that want to put the work in, because many people want the watch, want the jewelry, want all the nice things, but they're not willing to put in the work, not willing to show up every single weekend, not willing to ask the questions, not willing to do the things that are going to take you to the next level. It's just unfortunate truth. But I'm about to hop on this next one-on-one call. I'll probably record this one too, because I might get some more chart games, so let's keep on going to it. It will just depend on the contract size. Are you sure? So if you're on TradingView, the contract size will be the main thing determining on how much you will risk. So if you change the contract size to what it should be, does it say 500 when you take the trade? Is that what you're saying? And then when you go into it, it says like it's different? You wouldn't do that. You wouldn't put 500 there. Take that off. You would take off that. The amount that it would be with that will be your units times your stop loss. That's what's going to equal what you risk. Because say, for example, one contract with 500, that could be the equivalent to being like 1,000-point stop loss. But since you wanted to risk 500, it's just going to make it like that, you get what I'm saying? But you want to make sure you don't edit that part. You edit the units. The units is the equivalent to your lot size. That is the multiplier. The only thing that you ever change when you go into a trade is going to be the unit size or the contract size, just like that, and then your stop loss. And then based off of whatever your stop loss is, in your ticks or point stop loss is going to be times the unit. So for example, if you have a 50-point trade, you would do 50 times whatever your unit or lot size would be, and that would be what you get. Process-wise, you'll be on a different platform and everything, but process, the charts, the price action, that's going to be the same. You're just going to have to learn the different back end. So that's why being able to already know how to risk, being able to know those things is going to be key, so you don't have to learn that while you're trying to also learn the platform. It's going to be like trying to learn a lot of different things that you weren't used to just yet. But one thing I will say, if you go into Top Step, you could practice on their practice account first instead of the actual combine, just because you'll be able to use the platform and everything like basically on a demo trade account, but it won't affect you. So at least you can get used to using it before you actually attack the actual account.
At that point in time, it was really just like, I want to do more for myself. I want to be more. And I was just so keen on the dollar amount, thinking that like, okay, if I make it, if I make more money, then everything is going to be okay. Everything is going to situate itself. You know, I'm just going to be one step further to like being quote unquote LeBron James, you know what I mean? Like just the king of trading type shit. But it was like, I kept eating shit. Like nothing was aligning within itself. Nothing was going the way it had to have went. And I was blaming everything but myself. Inevitably come to like 2 years ago. So 2020, yeah, like the end of 2023 for 2024. That's when I stopped trading for a second and I sat myself down. And it was more or less a conversation of like, if I do see myself taking this full-fledged and I need to treat it as like a business. And once I had bought your course and I sat myself down and I'm watching the videos and I'm tuning into the FBA sessions and I'm speaking to you one-on-one, that's when the true realization factor came into play of like, okay, hold on. This is really just you. Nothing else matters. We were speaking and I had realized like, okay, everything comes back down to.
All right, we got done with that call. Gonna be waiting for the next one. The next one's not really gonna be a call. It should be an interview. Gonna be interviewing one of my students. He was able to get his first payouts and everything, so I just want to interview the process so he can just document it, so we can come back in 6 months, in a year, and see how far he's came. Because at the end of the day, we all went from a position where we didn't know nothing about the charts, didn't know nothing about price action, and having to build the confidence to be able to get into a funded account, pass, fail, to get a payout. It takes time, and I just want to be able to broadcast it because not everybody wants to document the journey. And one thing I always regret is when I didn't start sooner. Every time. I wish I started recording sooner. Wish I started documenting it all sooner because I could still go back and watch it. It's like memories that I'm going to have forever as long as I don't lose them. That's a fact. But yeah, I'm going to see you guys on the next one-on-one call. I'm about to edit that video that I just did over there. And yeah, let's get to work. Interview is shot. Everything is done. I'm trying to get some reels posted on Instagram and everything still. I got a couple different things. So you guys are going to have a lot of different angled videos, not gonna lie. I got the recording from a couple one-on-ones. I got a little bit of the recording that I'm gonna give you guys for the interview, but check out the second channel for the full interview if you want the full dose of game and all that. But yeah, wait for these last 2 one-on-one calls, and then I'm gonna get to editing all these videos, putting them all together, making some stuff, bada boom, bada bing, making the magic happen so that you guys can get the game. There's a lot of stuff that goes into it, but I wouldn't change it for nothing. Chase a result. That's why the most important thing I try to tell you guys, because the same thing that you did to be able to pass both of those accounts is valid. Like, you had something that passed both accounts. If that means if you could pass accounts twice, you did something that could win you more trades and lose twice. That's directly the same exact thing you got to do to get the payout. But the only difference is now the intention you have behind each trade. Whether you took that trade to try to get the payout, whether you took that trade to try to get a winning trading day, whether you took that trade just to feel good to end the week off positively, whatever it may be, the intention always changes as a result to, like, now there's an expectation. Now there's a possible positive outcome that can come from this that you don't necessarily have inside of the challenge on a demo account when you're back testing, because now you can actually profit from it. And it's just something you got to learn to be able to handle from going through it. You don't know how to handle something until you go through it. You don't know that you're going to do something until you go through it. I've just been able to go through things and be able to talk to a lot of other people to know what most people end up doing. It's just human nature. We all do the same things because it's just human nature. We want to be able to make money. We want to be able to replace our job. We want to be able to feel good. We don't want to feel like we're not good at what we do. We want to feel like we're a winner. And directly, we tend to do things to try to feed that. But not always, it's not always going to go in our direction. That's why it just comes down to having a process, having something that we follow no matter what. So even though you lost accounts, like you said, there's something that you learn from it. And that's how it is every time. A loss is a lesson, and every time we lose money, every time we lose a funded account, we lose a challenge, it's telling us exactly what we should or shouldn't be doing. All right, team, right now we're about to be on our way to the hospital. We're about to drop off some clothes that we got for the baby. And yeah, that's the vibes. The video's already long as shit. I got my laptop. I'm gonna continue editing the video that you're watching right now, plus all the live calls. I got a lot of content today, like hours recorded with the one-on-ones that I'm gonna try to clip up into some valuable game for you guys. But this vlog's gonna be like damn near 30-40 minutes. So yeah, we're gonna end it off here. If you want to work with me one-on-one, want to get access to the one-on-one calls like I had today, you want to be a part of that, want to be a part of the educational call I had this morning, you want to be a part of everything, all of the above, so you can get access to me and get your help to make your first 5 figures when it comes to trading, and learn how to put seatbelts on to make this shit stop beeping. Apply to work in the first link in the description. Stay safe, stay busy, and I will see you guys in tomorrow's daily video.